So before you can start building with your coils, you have to make a base to start with. So I just take a piece of clay and I just flatten it out. You can use a slab roller or a rolling pin. I just kind of flop it down on the table like that a couple times. And then I have a nice thin base to start with. And I could use something round to trace out a round circle if I want to. It just depends on what you're trying to create. So for mine, I'm just gonna make it a kind of a random organic kind of shape. Probably end up looking like an egg. And then I'm gonna build on one of these bats so that I can turn this as I work on it. All right, so when I start connecting my coils on here, there's a couple of different ways to do this. You can have your coil show, so this becomes a part of your design, like the line that is created by the coil becomes a part of your design. And you can take those lines and you can have them do all kinds of things. You know, maybe you do something like that all the way around. I don't know. You can roll them up and make these kind of swirly shapes. You know, and you could have something like that on there. But whatever you do, if you're connecting the coils and having the coils showing, you have to score and slip your coils on there. So scoring that all up, scoring this, putting your slip on there. Of course, my slip container's clogged. Why wouldn't it be right in the middle of a demo? That part out. So you need to put your slip on there. And then I can put my coil on there. And then where the two ends meet, just kind of cut through, get rid of the excess. Have those ends coming together. And then the scoring and the slip will hold all those coils on there. So there's another way of doing this too. If I don't need the coils showing, I can just blend the coils together. And I'll show you that too. So if I wanted to do, you know, more of this coil building like this, something like that, you would want to just blend the back of that all together. And what will happen if you don't do something like this, where you blend that back all together, is that the clay shrinks as it dries. And what you'll have is you'll have this open up all in there as that shrinks. And then it becomes very fragile, and then of course that won't stay on there. It'll break right off. All right, so I can do something like that. Touch that on there. out some coils. So a lot of times people will roll out a lot of coils before they start, just so they have all their kind of their building blocks sitting there ready to go. It's not a bad idea. What I always tell students to do if you're going to do that is have them on plastic, so you can kind of fold the plastic over top of them and keep them wet and soft. If you leave them sitting out exposed to the air for any length of time, they will start to dry. And if your coils start to dry, then they're not going to be as plastic, and they're going to crack and break as you try to use them. And you probably want them to be very flexible as you work with them. I guess it kind of depends on what you're doing. I've seen students take these things and roll them out, be really precise with them, and then chop them up into building blocks. You know, like you could chop them into like 2-inch segments or something and then stack them up like Lincoln logs or something. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Lincoln logs. Google it. And that's how you start it. So I will continue working on this in another video.